And RJ says, anyone want to go for a ride? He's like, all of us? So we hopped out there, and I was very fortunate. RJ said, hop in the passenger side. So I hopped up front. We had a couple in the back seat, and we take off out onto the test track. And RJ is just going through. He's given us some wonderful guidance, if you will, on the user interface and the features of the car. We get out onto the track, and I probably don't have this in the right order, but we took a lap around the track at one point. And he's calmly showing us features and the purpose-driven nature of this feature and that feature. And I look over at the speedometer, and we're at 122, and he just pinned us back. And just calmly as it could be, we come into this corner, and it's a 20-mile-an-hour turn, and I think I kidded him a little. I hear the Pirelli sisters singing in a very mild 4-part harmony as we drift through and come out the other corner. And wonderfully composed, and surprisingly, all of that track, and it was quiet. It was very quiet. There wasn't the sound of all-terrain tires clattering against the pavement, and they were the all-terrains. And RJ had mentioned at one point, he said, "I know in your configuration you were back and forth between the two tires, the 22s for the highway, or the 20s." And I said, "Well, I may just have to get both." But he said, I think you're going to find the all-terrains do everything, and they do it very well. And so, sure enough, we did that. Came back around the backside. He got it up a little bit faster, a little bit more just about the speed, and you're just glued into the seat. And quietly whisked down the track. On the second day, I asked him about the acoustic glass, if it's acoustic, and he rolled the windows down to show me the layer of soft material between the two panes. He said, it's all acoustic. And I said, well, it shows because there's just a very little sense of sound that you get while you're doing this, other than people in the back seat screaming.
You all right? Go like this. That's something you go down. And you say, oh, maybe I'll go back.
Because of the acceleration and the other parts I'm going to tell you about. Because so we've got that track side of it out of the way. He's showing us the various modes. So suspension, you can set the suspension very taut. You can loosen it up so it's good for highway around town, comfortable, and that came up on the second day as well. But he said shows us drift mode as he pulls off the road into a drift track of probably about 12 turns, and man, he let it fly. And we're sailing around these corners, and probably I'd say a good 20 to 30% tail wag as we come around the corners and whip back the other direction. And he said it's designed to give you that freedom. And so it was great fun. And again, we're having a conversation while I'm listening to this combination of laughter and screams coming out of the back seat. Screams of joy. Everyone's having a great time. But yeah, we are just flying. So we take a couple of laps and get done with that. And as we head back down the straightaway to the south, where there's a playground on the infield, they have a number of mounds and undulations and side hills that are there. The side hills are steeper than the faces, I believe, on these. And RJ just pulls into the grass infield a half mile away and just punches it. And we're flying through 2 feet high of grass, and it's quieter than if you were in a snow machine. Well, certainly the snow machine, but I mean, it was like flying through powdered snow, and just smooth as could be. We get down there to the quarry, if you will, at the end, and up and over and sharp turns, completely composed. The truck's not making it. All the noise is coming from the inside, from that back seat. And so he attacks one of the hills. He comes at it from the side at an angle. So we're off camber, and I'm thinking, you're just expecting it to roll, but he's still calmly pointing out things on the user interface. Excuse me. And having a wonderful time showing off the car. But there are times when it felt like we're at a 20-degree side angle, and he's completely nonplussed about it. The vehicle's just stable as can be. And just thought, if I wasn't sold before, and I was sold back in February of 19, I'm really sold now. So we do that. And so now we've done the drifts, we've done the flown through the field, made some high speed laps, gone through the gravel quarry down at the end and all the loop-de-loos there. Then we come back to the entry point from the engagement center, and there's Mount Rivian standing there. So he tools around it, and you come up from the south, and all of a sudden there's a boulder field there, pretty good sized rocks. And he just points it at it, keeps it at about 5 miles an hour, and we're just bouncing. Now, I wouldn't even say bouncing, but I mean it's just walking over these rocks quietly, no sound.
And we'll do some high speed stuff. Yeah.
You're just climbing. It just walks right up this boulder field. You get up to the top, and you're looking down on the engagement center from this flat platform. And then RJ says, "Okay, here we go." He just pulls forward, and the nose just—it's like a roller coaster, but composed. Still with the screaming in the back. It was great fun, but it just calmly walks down the hill. And I think I even said, "This is where we lose the view of the sky because." Looking at the top of the windshield, you're looking at the grass below. He said it's a 45, not 45 degree, but 45% downgrade and completely composed. We get to the bottom of it. He just whips a U-turn and right back up that face we go and then amble down the boulder field. And 15 inches of ground clearance on it. And you've got some major boulders that are sitting there. It just walks right over them, no problem. And so there are a few buried culvert pipes that are exposed, maybe 12 to 15 inches, that are staggered. We climb over those, and there's some body roll when you do that, but that's because you're hitting a 15-inch pipe on one side and then on the other. But it quietly just walks right over the top of those, just wonderfully, wonderfully composed. So then we got back to we pulled back into the center and got out and visited with the. You get interviewed. There are camera crews there that wanted to hear our impressions, and that's where you even from the inside you could see the conversation. I'm going, how do they talk through those grins? Everyone was just having a ball. And anyway, so I felt very fortunate that I got to ride along with RJ. I mean,
that's amazing.
This is his baby,
Absolutely.
so it's his dream, and to be able to ride along with him was just made it that much more awesome.
Something you'll never ever forget, for sure.
No, not at all.
Yeah,
not at all. And so that was kind of how it ended. They said towards the end of the evening, they said, I think they ran the first wave back, and we were still there. And they said it's time to go back to the hotel, and I said, I'm just going to sleep here, thanks. I don't want to go back. I was enjoying it so much, and anyway, went back and just excited.
You could already go home and be.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And again,
Yeah.
that was extremely special. And the fun thing is that when we got there, RJ said, "This is the last first event we will ever have." He said, "You guys are the first ones to get to drive these. The Auto Mags didn't get to drive them, so the Angus McKenzie's of the world and people like that in the car magazines had to wait." And he said, "You're the ones that bet on us and put the deposit down. You should get first shot at it."
Yeah.
And I think they'd love for everybody to be able to do that. I would guess.
Sure.
But this worked out, and it was really an honor, and it felt very blessed to be a part of that very first group.
Absolutely.
Something here. So that was medium spicy. Now we're gonna go to
Oh, drift mode.
So this is gonna be very sideways.